Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the next video. Today we're going to talk about purpose. Why are we here? Why are we on this journey? Why are we in this car? Where are we going? And it's one of my favorite topics as well. Actually, I shared my full story in the book. You can go and read it. But here I'm just going to give the outlines from my point of view. And I believe we all have a similar journey. Hopefully you will relate to that. So now coming back to the analogy again, right? We are in the car. Now we know it's in the soul and all this thing. We are moving on. But where are we going? Where are we going is one of the best analogies, beautiful analogy I listened about this one was imagine you live in a country where the king of the country invited to a banquet, the party, right? This is where the most noble, the most respected people are there. And an invitation says, you know what, you've been invited to this, come. How would you feel if you got that invitation? You would say, wow, I'm honored, you know, I'm invited to this. You begin to think, what must I have done to deserve this invitation? And you begin to act differently, think about it, anticipating how it's gonna go, all of this. And I kind of tried to use that analogy for the life we live in. What I mean by that is, if you think about it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so generous, so kind that He said, guys, come to our party. This is how you should do, this is the roles you should take, and it's up to you. And you know what most people do? And most people, they just look at the invitation, oh, this is spam, throw it away. They don't even look at it, they don't even believe in it, right? They don't take it seriously. I said, nah, it must be this. Don't believe. That's what it means. You got invited, you don't respect it, you just throw away. But I hope we are of those who believe in that invitation. We are going there. Even the book we mentioned, the course, right-hand book. The culmination point will be on that day, we are called, oh, Adam, come in, show us your invitation, come back. And that's what we hope that the right-hand book means. It means that, alhamdulillah, we do enough good things on the way because we're invited. We want to, and also rules of the game is that the more good you do, you can sit closer to the king. Can you imagine that? That the more good you do, it's up to you. It says it's up to you where you want to sit. You're invited. All you want to do, and come to us, and then how close you sit based on what you do and what are the things you do, and then suddenly, that's why I'm saying we are here to, as I said, the right-hand book. We're trying to figure out on that book the outlines and sections, what's going to be, and the rest of our lives, we want to do our best to live that life, right? So that's the goal, that's the purpose, that's what we want to do. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they live their life without a clear purpose, why they're here. They don't have a clarity. They live there like, you know, depression and all of this stuff. And do you remember we discussed the soul the last time? The soul wants to expand into things. So if you do not give the right food to the soul, the right food to the mind, right food to the body, if you don't let it express in a natural way, guess what happens? It expresses in another way, which is not halal ways. That's why you see some people taking drugs, some people doing all the bad stuff. And this is why sometimes people taking their lives, because we need to see no purpose. What's the point? Like if you don't have this clarity for you, and the life sometimes could be unbearable, a lot of pain, a lot of loss, right? But since you're listening to this, we can assume that, alhamdulillah, we are Muslims, we understand this. But understanding is one thing, but do we really appreciate it? Do we really appreciate it? What I mean is that, do we really take advantage of this? What I mean is that, let me share my story, and then you understand what I mean. Like when I was growing up, I had a very limited knowledge about religion. Even though I was in Uzbekistan, you have to take into mind that my country is still coming back to its roots. It's been under Soviet Union so many years. And I didn't have a proper understanding. I used to think about God, oh, maybe He does exist, I just have to believe it, I don't have to do much, you know? I can live my life the way I want, as long as I believe I'm safe. That's a lot of people think probably. And then about 10 years ago, it's been taking some time for me that seeking, seeking purpose. I don't want to take the long story. You can read in the book. I'm just trying to shorten up. Alhamdulillah, I was invited back to Islam to figure out what does it really mean when we say La ilaha illallah. What does it really mean? Does it mean that there's no God except Allah, if you believe it, good? But the more I understood, the more I began to realize is that what it really means is that actually there is no reality, there is nobody, there is nothing in real that exists except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is nowhere we can go either, right? He's the only real one. And we are going back to that thing. And more importantly, that I also misunderstood when it says the purpose of human beings is to worship. Because you see, so what happens in some of the languages, sometimes it gets very limited translation. For me, the worship was just praying. I said, it's just the whole purpose of praying. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, we are really bad at it as humans. And besides, they keep telling us God doesn't need anything. If God doesn't need my prayer, why do I have to pray? So it was not a really proper understanding. But when you go to the source and begin to understand, worship doesn't only mean praying. Worship, it means serving, right? Serving to God. And another thing is, you may ask, God doesn't need service. Yes, God doesn't need service. God doesn't need you to believe in God, etc. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is how your purpose is. What I mean by that is, once you understand your purpose in life, once you understand your skills, and you use it to serve others in the hope of to serve God. You see, it's a little bit, you have to understand it in the right way. This is when you fulfill your purpose as a human being. And this could be theoretical, but you can try it out and see how it works. That's why the greatest minds of humankind always said, purpose of life is service. I didn't understand what that means. Purpose of life is service to your community, service to other people who are the needy. This is how, what we are doing is the purpose of life is to get to know God and love God. And for us to do that is to, to try our best to, to learn some of His qualities, attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to our way to implement it. This is the only way, experiential way of, way of coming to learning. So that's what the purpose is. And the question is, I guess now, you may ask, okay, I understand that's the thing, but what is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? What is Omar, what is Fatima supposed to do in this life? That is a great question. And actually, that's the question I covered in the book, but inshallah, in the next videos, we're going to digest some of it a little bit. In the next video, I want to talk about the passion, how to get to know yourself, what are your skills Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given, and how to use that. But again, we're going to ask those 4 questions. What are your beliefs about your purpose? Do you think you can find your purpose, or you think it's not attainable? Take 2-3 minutes and come back. Next question. What are your goals for your purpose? What do you think you want to do? As I said, the purpose of humankind, the goal we need to achieve is to figure out our skills and to use it to serve others so we can serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not part-time, but full-time, 24/7. That's our goal on earth. But what are your goals in terms of your purpose? What do you want to do? Take another 2-3 minutes and come back. We'll get to the next question. Question number 3, why does it matter? And this one, I remember one of the sayings of one of the philosophers. He said, for those people who figure out their why, they will figure out their how. So in this life, you have a strong why, trust me, you will go through anything else. But you have to figure out your strong why. That's why the purpose is so strong. For those who want to read a book, I think from Simon Sinek called Start With Why, I really recommend that. Read it, you understand what I'm talking about. So why you want to figure out your why. The pun is intended. Talk to you in 2 minutes, 3 minutes after you write your questions, answers. Question number 4. Okay, how are you going to get there? What are your goals? First, we want you to write it down, but actually answers in the next video is coming up, which is going to be easier for you. And I'll see you in the next video. As I said, in the next video, we're going to talk about passion and how to figure out your purpose in life based on the God-given talents and gifts, inshallah. I'll see you there. Assalamu alaikum.